Hi everybody. So today I want to talk to you about the Facebook algorithm. Now, the Facebook algorithm is a truly complicated thing, and to be completely honest with you, outside of Facebook, no one really understands it completely, and Facebook is very secretive about how it plans out the formula behind the algorithm. But there are things that we do know that will help you get the best out of your newsfeed. So I'm going to give you my best tips. Please bear with me because I have written down a lot of notes because there's a lot to remember. But I'm going to give you pretty much most of what I know on how, on how the algorithm works, how you can get the best out of your Facebook profile. So I'm going to start off by talking about what a Facebook algorithm is. Now, in the early days of Facebook, when you would post something on your timeline, everybody would see it. Absolutely everybody. But as Facebook has got busier and there's been more content at the moment, for every single time you go on Facebook, there is literally 1,500 stories that it could potentially show you at one time. And ain't nobody got time for that. So Facebook has to decide what content is particularly relevant for you. And the way it does this is down to many different factors, and it is constantly changing. So the algorithm is something that we really need to stay on top of. I'm always looking up news stories on the algorithm, and I follow a few social media experts. So as changes are made, I can keep on top of it. So basically the algorithm, it's there to help Facebook decide what to show to each of its users, to personalize their user experience and make it most relevant to them. And it's judged on many things. It's judged on our engagement, on our likes, on our shares, on what pages we like, on our age, on our gender, on our relationship status. For example, I remember when I got married, all of a sudden I was getting loads of things pop up in my newsfeed to do with pregnancy and honeymoons and having babies. And it also gauges your activity outside of Facebook as well. So, every now and then you'll be searching for something. You'll be searching for a holiday, or you'll be looking on eBay at something, or Amazon, and all of a sudden that exact thing that you've just been looking at on another site will show up in your newsfeed. So Facebook is very, very clever. And basically it's just to stop the newsfeed from being too crowded. But obviously we want to be able to get the most out of this. We want to be able to, in some ways, manipulate the algorithm so that our content is put in front of our audience, because not always is Facebook going to show your content to your friends. So, like I said, Facebook is very secretive about, their algorithm and how they plan it, but there are these things that we do know. It used to be called EdgeRank. It's not called EdgeRank anymore. I'll explain why in a minute. But the formula used to be called EdgeRank, and it was organised very, very simply, and this still applies now. So first, it will judge your posts on affinity. Each of your posts will have an affinity score. And affinity basically means the relationship that you have with other Facebook users. So Facebook is far more likely to show your posts to somebody that you're related to, or someone that is in one of your close friends lists, or someone who you interact with on a regular basis on Facebook. So, or even someone that you have a lot of mutual friends with. It even goes that far. So the obvious way to improve your affinity score with your customers and, with your potential recruits is to engage with them, to like their posts, to comment on their posts. And it's going to give you a boost in your affinity score with that particular person. Does that make sense? Then you have weight. So weight is basically the action taken on the post that you've just put on Facebook, especially in the moments after you post it. So let's say, I don't know, you put a mascara post on Facebook. that post is going to do better if it gets a lot of likes, if it gets a lot of comments, if it gets a lot of shares, and especially in the few moments after you post it. So that is what weight is, it's how much engagement a post gets. If it gets more engagement, then Facebook will show it to more people, because Facebook decides that is a popular post that is worth seeing. Now, again, the obvious way to improve your weight score is to give valuable content that people like, that they want to see. Then you have Decay. Decay is the easiest one. Decay basically means how old the post is. It's when a post has been up for a while, it's quite likely that everybody's seen it or that it's not relevant anymore. And so to tackle that, Facebook will show older posts less than it will new posts. Now, the way that I find I can get around this is to bump my posts with a comment or a like. So if I post something at 10 a.m, I'll notice that most of the interaction happens in the first couple of hours after I post it, and gradually the interaction goes down. So let's say it gets to 4 in the afternoon and I decide I want that post to be seen again. I will literally comment underneath it, replying to somebody's comment, or I'll like it. Or if nobody's commented on it at all, sometimes I'll just put a little X and then I'll delete it immediately, and it will bump it up into everybody's newsfeed again. So it's a really handy tip to know. So that traditionally, that is EdgeRank: affinity, weight, and time decay. But I'm going to add something else as well, and that is the type of post. So Facebook will show more videos to people who have expressed engagement with videos before. If people tend to prefer photos and they tend to engage more with photo posts, then Facebook will show them more photo posts. If people just like text, it will show them just text. And generally speaking, there's trends that go on in our culture, and generally speaking, the ones that get the least engagement are text only posts, followed by photos, followed by videos, and then lastly is your Facebook Lives. And you know what? At the moment, Facebook is heavily promoting Facebook Lives, so you will get more engagement just because it's heavily weighted in favour of live videos at the moment. I hope that makes sense. So, this is EdgeRank. It's still relevant, but these days there are hundreds of other factors that Facebook take into account, and I've mentioned some of these, like your age, your gender, what you like on Facebook, what your activity is outside of Facebook, how you interact with your following. There's so many things that it takes into account, but the ones that I've mentioned: affinity, weight, decay, and type. That's the stuff that you have control over. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that Facebook likes and doesn't like. Now remember, your following has complete control over their newsfeed these days, and they can unfollow you. They can of course unfriend you, but they have more control over their newsfeed. They can turn off posts that they don't want to see more of. So you have to be really careful not to be over salesy, and you have to be careful that you're giving value. You have to be very, very conscious of the fact that you want people following you because they want to, not because you've manipulated them into it. So giving value is a big thing. But what Facebook does like, it likes posts with lots of engagement, likes, comments, shares. If a post is doing well, it will show it to more people, especially in a short period of time, like I mentioned before. Now, it likes videos with high engagement. It likes lives with high engagement. If a live is doing particularly well and there's a lot of people watching and they're commenting and they're getting involved, and they stay until the end, that's another one. Then again, Facebook is going to put that live in more people's news feeds. It likes posts that are from profiles with full profile information. So make sure you have all of your profile information on your profile and on your pages, because it's a more complete profile and Facebook will see it as more valuable content. It likes, this is a new one. So the Facebook algorithm likes posts that have never been shared before. So brand new content, brand new videos, brand new images, things that Facebook hasn't seen before, it will give them a bump because it's brand new. Now, what it doesn't like, on the flip side, are posts that have been frequently circulated. So that's when you would see a video that you find very entertaining and maybe you would download it to your phone and then post it afresh. Facebook's not stupid. It knows that it's been circulated before. And so, it doesn't like repeated content and it won't weight it as heavily. Facebook doesn't like spammy links. The algorithm doesn't like text-only statuses. It doesn't like posts that are frequently hidden or reported, because it's taking into account what its users want to see. And if the users have hidden something or reported it, or deleted it, then Facebook is not going to give it that weight. It's not going to give it that priority in the news feeds. And it doesn't like overly promotional posts either. So what are the kind of things that you can do to up your algorithm, to up your interaction and your engagement? Well, the most obvious one, and we talk about this a lot, is to ask questions. It's a powerful thing. So generally speaking, people love to give their opinion on stuff. We see it all the time. Sometimes people go out of their way to give an opinion on a post from someone they don't even know. People love to have an opinion on things. So a good question would be an either or post. So I don't know, let's say you're going out for an evening and maybe you don't need an answer at all. You're just trying to up your algorithms. Put 2 outfits on Facebook and ask your following which one they prefer for the occasion that you're going to, and then watch them all have an opinion and you are instantly upping your algorithm. Another good one is the fill in the blank post, and I would actually put this into a graphic, because remember, most people prefer to see photos than they do a text-only status. So, I don't know, I'm trying to think of one. On a Sunday, I like to spend my day blank, and then your following have to fill it in. That was a really lame one, but you get the idea. Okay, next, video and live stream. I said it briefly before. Facebook is really, really favouring video and especially live stream at the moment. So use it to your advantage while it's so heavily promoted and prioritised with the algorithm. Timing. Knowing when your target audience is on Facebook is a powerful way of reaching people. So in our business, our target audience, usually, generally speaking, is mums. And the times I find best to post are anytime after 9:30 of an evening, when the kids are in bed and, mums have a spare couple of hours to themselves to browse social media. Also early in the morning when they're first waking up and they've done the school run. Now there's another thing that you can do. And I'm not sure that my team know much about this, but there's something called newsjacking. And if any of you have noticed on Facebook, on the right-hand side, there is trending stories. And it shows you all the things that are most popular on the entire world of Facebook at the moment. It's what people are talking about the most. So if you can do a live around one of those topics, at the moment there's a pregnant giraffe on Facebook and we are just waiting for that giraffe to give birth. So if you could do a live around April the giraffe I mean, it doesn't even have to be about April the giraffe. I mean, maybe the first 5 minutes talk about the pregnant, the pregnant giraffe, and then go into what you want to talk about. It's called newsjacking, and you're basically getting leverage off something that's already trending to get in front of more people. I hope that makes sense. And the last thing I want to say is remain active, remain consistent, because Facebook favours people who are posting consistently and who are well known in the Facebook world. So, I mean, that doesn't mean you should be posting 20 times a day because you don't want to, overwhelm your audience or annoy them. But generally speaking, anywhere between 3 and 5 times a day on your profile, 3 to 5 times a week on your Facebook page should be enough. But you want to be present, and don't expect to post, once a week and have your whole following jump on your post. People who are consistent and who are on Facebook regularly will get more priority than people who show up every once in a while. It's also worth mentioning that the longer your video and the more engaged it is, the more of a bump it gets by the algorithm in your timeline distribution. So I hope that makes sense. That is literally everything I know about the Facebook algorithm as it stands at the moment. They are constantly changing it. So it's something to keep an eye on. But just remember the main things: affinity, weight, and time decay, and the type of post. They're the things that you really have a lot of control over. So be thinking about your audience. Be thinking about the people who are most likely to be your customers, who are most likely to join your team, and make sure you build a relationship with those particular ladies. And if you do that well, then Facebook is more likely to show them the posts on your newsfeed. I hope that helps. It's a lot to take in. You might want to watch it a few times and take notes, and absolutely do some of your own research outside of my video as well. Thanks, ladies. Bye.